Speech off.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I don't know why I never did this, but I'm going to. I've never done a tag before, and I wanted to try, so I actually thought I would start with the BookTube newbie tag. Yeah, I've been here a year, but I mean, the fact is, I have less than 100 subscribers. I'm probably fairly new to a lot of people anyway. Also, the last video that I did with talking about my bookish history was, well, a year ago when I started my channel, and pretty much, I filmed it with the lights off. I'm blind, so, it didn't occur to me that you might have to turn on the lights for your face to be seen in a video. So, yeah, I thought I would, do this now that I actually have some experience. So yeah, anyway, I guess I should start with my name. My name is Paula. I've been on BookTube for about a year. And, well, as I kind of already mentioned casually, I'm blind. So, yeah. Let's just start with the questions. That'll be easier. Why am I introducing myself? I've been here a while. Okay, why did you start this channel? Honestly, I started this channel because I wanted to talk about books, my opinion about books, just in general. I wanted to do a podcast, honestly, but I wouldn't know how to start with that, and BookTube just seems easier. You set up your phone, and you talk into the phone, and then, you can upload straight from your iPhone. It's probably not the most sophisticated filming technology. I know you guys do, like, fancy editing and add intro music and all that stuff. So, it just kind of seemed like the easiest way to do it, I guess. And I guess this kind of segues into another question that's in this tag, but it's a little out of order. That's okay, though. It's just how the conversation flows. So what challenges do you think starting a BookTube will be hardest to overcome? And yeah, ultimately, I think my biggest challenge in general has just been that I am not the most fun person to watch. Like, everybody else has kind of their, well, like I said, you guys do editing and vlogs, and literally all you're going to see is me talking into a phone. And I'm going to do my best to talk very enthusiastically about books, but, it's not going to be quite as fun as other booktubers who have actual books to show versus my books are on Audible or whatever on my Braille note taker and invisible to you. So there's not really much to watch. So I guess if you're into podcasts, just put me on while you're cooking dinner or something, and, you don't have to look. You don't need to see to enjoy my videos, I guess. But yeah, I think that probably would make it not very interesting for some people. So I suspect I'd have less subscribers that way. So yeah, I think that would be the hardest thing, and has been the hardest thing this past year, which is why I haven't really been that disappointed that I didn't get like 1,000 subscribers in a year like other people do. I kind of knew this would be for fun, and, I'm having fun doing it, and the people who have subscribed and the people who comment and stuff make my day, so whatever. I'll do it, but, just for fun. So now back to the original order. What are some fun and unique things you can bring to BookTube? Honestly, I guess just my enthusiasm over books, bubbly personality, I don't know. I do have some entertaining videos about being blind that are not book-related that I think are very entertaining to sighted people. Most embarrassing moments, accidentally calling a woman with dangly keys a dog because I thought the dangly keys were a leash. I can bring that to the table. There's a whole playlist on my channel with all the blindness-related videos that I've done. Just check that out. It's not just all about books. It's also just a channel where I talk about everything and nothing. So, yeah. And like I said, I'm definitely going to be talking about books. And a lot of my blind friends have subscribed to my channel, which is nice. And so I would read them the titles, the authors when I talk about books, and kind of give a brief synopsis about what the book is about, which not all booktubers do. So, yeah, I guess that answers that. What are you most excited about this new channel? Honestly, just talking about books and seeing what happens. If I get comments, it's always kind of exciting when I get like a new subscriber or when a comment happens or whatever. Or sometimes I'll literally, it's bad, but I sometimes will like go through my channel just to see how many views I get, and I get really excited when I see that a video has a lot of views. I have no life. But yeah, I just am excited to talk about books in general. Okay. Why do you love reading? I don't know. I've always loved reading. My mom's been reading to me since before I could read, and then I listened to audiobooks, and then I read books. It was just something I've always done. It's just something that it's always been a part of my life. I never really analyzed why I love it. I guess because I like being in different worlds or just different stories. I don't know. It also it's just been something I've always done because I couldn't really play with other kids. So I read. And I've always read. And it's really the only thing I can say that I love doing. Like, you can take everything else away from me that you want to, but don't take my books. So I guess that's as good an answer as any. What book or series got you into reading? Again, that's really hard to say because I've been reading since I was very little. I remember when I was really little, Mom read me Little Bear, and we started reading Roald Dahl when I was really small. She was very much against picture books when I was little. I think she didn't like the rhymey ones, like Green Eggs and Ham, and yeah. Now that she's a nanny, she complains a lot about having to read the baby board books. She thinks they're dumb. So she pretty much always read me chapter books from the time that I was like 2 or 3, so when I started reading picture books in like 1st and 2nd grade, I thought they were dumb too. Because I'd like passed it intellectually, but like obviously I couldn't read novels in preschool. But I think the first series that got me into reading by myself was definitely Judy Blume's Fudge series. I've told the story several times, but what the heck. One of my most vivid book memories was in 3rd grade when Schindler, my resource teacher, Braille teacher, was reading Tales of 4th Grade Nothing, and Fudge gets cereal dumped on his head, and I almost died laughing because the day I was a terrible eater, like Fudge. I would go on hunger strikes against broccoli to the point that I would end up hospitalized with an IV in my hand because damned if I would eat that broccoli. You can sit me at the table for 3 days and I won't do it. And so the day before Miss Schindler read that chapter, Dad, at his wit's end, said he would dump a bowl of soup on my head if I did not eat it. Obviously, he would never do that. This was just a moment of temporary insanity. But, after you've had 8 or 9 years of hunger strikes, you go a little nuts. So yeah, that was my first laugh out loud moment with reading. Reading about Fudge getting cereal dumped on his head and realizing that it really can happen. But yeah, I read those, and then I was obsessed with Lemony Snicket. Tales of 4th Grade Nothing. Good God. A series of unfortunate events. I was really obsessed with those books. And, Harry Potter, Little House on the Prairie, Anne of Green Gables, the usual kids' books. So, yeah. Kind of my bookish history in a nutshell. What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? no idea. Honestly, I don't know. I guess I've always asked them in comments when I have a question, and it's usually book related. Huh. Anyway, I don't know. And when did you start reading? I started reading, technically, blind children learn how to read really early because you have to be able to develop that sense of touch to read Braille. So I started reading when I was like 2 or 3. They had me in a program called Pivot, Parent Infant Visually Impaired Training. I think that was what it stood for. So my parents went to school with me at first, and I learned Braille. And yeah, you learn how to read early when you're blind. Or at least you did when I went to school. Now there's computers, and Braille is becoming less important, which is infuriating, but that's a story for another day. But yeah, I've been reading since I was really little, and like I said, my mom read to me a lot too, so yeah. Where do you read? Honestly, I read everywhere. I read at my desk, in my bed, I always have a book on me in the car. And there was one time when I was at the grocery store. I had headphones on and I was listening to a book. I don't remember what book it was, but I was really into it. And, good grief. This lady told my mom that she had me, quote unquote, very well trained. And she thought I was on the spectrum because I had headphones on and I didn't hear a word she was saying. Like, I didn't pay attention to her. She said hi to me in passing or something and said I was cute. And I paid her no mind because I was very much into the book I was reading. And Mom took off my headphones the second she was gone and was like, did you hear what that lady just said? I'm like, no, what lady? So yeah, I was so deeply immersed in my book that the lady thought I was on the spectrum and just not here and needed headphones to walk around. Yeah, good times. So after that, I did stop walking around with my giant headset in public places. So yeah, that is the only places I don't read when we're out. Although I do read at family gatherings because family gatherings are awkward. Because family's awkward with me, and I'd rather read my book than interact. So yeah. Everywhere but the grocery store. Oh yeah, and hiking. Most of you guys read books, like listen to audiobooks when you're like taking walks, but that's the one place I can't. Because I need to be using my cane and paying attention to like cracks in the sidewalk or tree roots or whatever is in my way. And I've sprained an ankle many a time because I've decided to listen to a book because I hate going for walks. And I thought that, listening to a book would make a walk more bearable because my doctor said I needed to walk. I have osteoporosis as well. I was born with that. And you have to walk to keep bone strength up. And yeah, I am not a fan of walking with no destination. It is boring. There is nothing to see because I can't see. Nature makes me sneeze. And all I want to do when I walk is go back home because my feet hurt. There is literally no fun in walking when you are going nowhere. So yeah, that's why I prefer swimming for exercise. But anyway, once I found out that walking and audiobook listening were not compatible, I was even less inclined to take walks. So, wow, that went on a tangent I wasn't expecting. This is fun. Okay, last question. What kind of books do you like to read? Honestly, I think probably my favorites lately are historical fiction, specifically World War II historical fiction. I don't know why. Katie from Paperbacks and Ponytails recently introduced me to Sarah Sundin. So she's one of my newest favorite historical fiction authors. She does Christian historical fiction, but so far the ones I've read are not super God heavy. So I personally think that her books can be read by everyone. And so yeah, but other than her, I love, Susan Meissner, Kristen Hanna. Who else? I don't know, just the usual Kristen Harmel. But yeah, I love historical fiction. I do like a good thriller. I like what you call women's fiction. Chloe from Always Booked sort of got me into reading it more again instead of reading almost exclusively historical fiction. And I do like I do like a good thriller. Romance, it kind of depends. Because I don't like certain tropes. I'm actually going to do a whole video on kind of what makes a good romance for me, because I guess it has to be a story that is not a trope. I know most stories are tropes, but like, I can't suspend my disbelief when it comes to romance, I guess. I don't know. Like, I was the kind of kid who thought Cinderella was stupid because she literally just went with the prince because her shoe fit. Like, put it that way. I am not into insta-love. So, like, a lot of the tropes in romance novels, like fake dating turning to real passion, or people hating each other turning into love, just is not my thing. I like adversity, and then, like, they kind of become friends, and then they fall in love gradually. Like, I guess I almost like the guy rescuing the girl, which is kind of weird, because it has to be the perfect setting, I guess. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, like, a lot of the romance books that people like, I just don't like. So yeah, and I'm kind of a huge grudge holder when it comes to books, so I'm also not even into second chance romances, because I'm usually mad at you for what you did in your first chance. So, yeah. But anyway, like, a lot of the booktubers that I watch are typically, or at least that I get recommendations from, are ones that really are into historical fiction. Krista from Books and Jams. I'll get the occasional, well, probably more than occasional rec from Katie from Paperbacks and Ponytails, book lover Amanda. Actually recently read, I also like family stories too, like a good adoption story. I forgot to talk about that. I love a good, like, adoption story. And I do not appreciate stories where, like, this found family doesn't stay together. Like, I was so mad at the way the Great Gilly Hopkins ended. Yeah. Like, after the Great Gilly Hopkins, whenever I would find a book about, like, a little girl or a little kid being found by someone, I had to skip to the end to make sure that they stay with that family. Otherwise, I'm not reading it, because I'm not getting attached only for the kid and the caregiver to have their hearts broken. No way. Gilly Hopkins has made me look at the back of the book to see if it ends how I want it to end before I dive in and get attached to a family. So, anyway. I did find a couple of adoption-related books from Chantel Reads All Day. But, yeah. So, a lot of books that I've read lately have come from booktubers. And, yeah, book podcasts, too. I have a lot of book podcasts I listen to. Like I said, I kind of wanted to start one of my own, but it just seemed easier to do this. So, anyway, I think that's the last question. Other than, what does your book collection look like? And, well, I looked this tag up on Wiki, and that question was there. Apparently, it's sometimes used in the tag. I can't really answer that because I don't have a book collection anymore. I actually used to have this huge bookshelf. Like, we're talking where you need like a forklift to get it out of the house. That big. And or a dolly or whatever. Like, you can't carry that thing. It's massive. And so I used to say that my parents could never ground me because nobody wants to move that thing. And the only thing I ever cared about was taking away books. You're not going to your cousin's birthday party? Good, I didn't want to go anyway. But yeah, I no longer have a book collection because I gave my books to libraries once books became digitally available in Braille, and I could download them. So I no longer have any books. I'm lying, actually. I do have a few that I'm hoping I don't have to scan. Speaking of which, there's a book that I am trying to get Audible to get here. And I talk about it in a video. I think it's called My Bookish Rant or something about Dorothy Coombs, and I forgot what I called it. But if you guys could find it and watch it and give it as many views as humanly possible, because the more views, the better, so that maybe Audible will actually see it and grant my wish. So yeah, that is kind of a bookish favor I'm begging the bookish community to grant me. Anyway, so yeah, if you could watch it and share it with your friends, I'd really appreciate it. I will try to link it in the description box, but I'm not sure how successful I'll be. Anyway, that's the end of this video. Please like, comment. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.
Speech on. Close. Button. Stop recording video.